Good evening. We're in Studio 6B today, and it's June 8th, Sunday, 2025. It's my pleasure and true honor to be speaking with the World War II infantry combat veteran, Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
You're looking well in your new clothes.
New clothes?
Yeah, I don't think you wash. I think what you do is just buy a new set every day. Probably easier. I like your style. So how are you feeling?
I'm good.
You're looking chipper.
Yeah.
How was your dinner?
Very good.
Wow. I see you've been watching woodworking. Are you up to making a project of doing some woodwork?
Not with these guys. These guys are good.
Yeah, but you have a full workshop in your backyard. You feel like making something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't been back there in 4 years.
We will be. We'll work that out. We'll be at the workshop. So how are you feeling? Pretty good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion, the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yesterday we were talking about how Mr. Jeckovich waited to get drafted so he could spend more time caring for his mother. He cared for his mother since the young age of 11 because his father, a Russian immigrant, a legal Russian immigrant, was working 3 jobs to try to give his family a better life than he had, and he was mixing cement one day, and that was the end of it. He was basically worked to death and had died of a heart attack at the age of 43. So yesterday we briefly touched on that, but we also were talking about Donald Lape. Let's see how Donald Lape fits into the story. Donald Lape was a young teenager side by side with you.
Yeah.
In World War II. During World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper. He was beat up, stabbed, trench foot, frostbite.
Lost a hip.
Lost a hip. And a victim of a dirty bomb. What's a dirty bomb?
They put screwdrivers in, razors, and everything else with it.
Yeah, the Nazis would pack it with all things such as screwdrivers, old tools, old pieces of metal, razor blades, anything they could throw in this bomb. So when it hits, it does lots of damage.
Yeah.
The most amount of damage. Well, the reason why we're speaking of this, Mr. Jeckovich still has shrapnel in his body. They couldn't get all of it out. In fact, probably when you try to get on an airplane, what happens?
Well, I give him a slip.
And what's the slip say?
I've got shrapnel, and this is the recording.
Well, getting back how the story ties in with Donald Lape, Mr. Jeckovich's buddy in the foxhole, Mr. Jeckovich was very street smart. Donald Lape wasn't.
No.
And what did Donald Lape keep doing?
Yeah, kept popping his head up. Kept popping his head up.
And then finally it got him. The dirty bomb that has parts of Mr. Jeckovich's body still blew Donald Lape's head off, and the only thing that left was his glasses hanging on his ears. Mr. Jeckovich removed the glasses, closed his eyes, lids, and took one dog tag number. Shortly after that, he wrote a beautiful long letter to Donald Lape's mother and father. Now, we don't have a copy of that letter, but we did recently obtain a letter that Donald Lape's mother sent to Mr. Jeckovich once she received the beautiful letter that Mr. Jeckovich sent to her about her son's death. Now, this letter's it's 80 years old. It's tough to read because many of the spots are blurred out and some of the writing is not that clear. But I'm going to try to read the letter as best as I possibly can, and so just bear with me and excuse we can't have the sentences just perfect because they just aren't visible to us. So this letter was sent from Donald Lape's mother. She lived on 702 8th Avenue.
Watervliet, New York.
Yeah. Man, you have a damn good memory. Watervliet, New York. I wonder where that's near.
Near Albany.
Yeah. Like off of 90 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Albany, yeah. And this letter was dated by Donald Lape's mother, April 27th, 1945. Here we go. Bear with me. I'm going to try to read as much as I could see. Many of it's blurred and 80-year-old letter. It's hard to, it's not crystal clear.
It's never been read before in public.
Never been read before. We just found this letter, luckily, and we're ready to read it. Here I go.
Where'd you find that letter?
Let me read it and we'll talk off here how I obtain these things. Here we go. I'm going to do my best to read it, so bear with me. I'm going to go slow. Dear Johnny, so everyone back then called you Johnny, right?
Yeah.
Your lovely letter came about 10 days ago, and it was such a comfort to us to learn the details about Don's death.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. When the news first came, it was such a shock that we could hardly make ourselves believe it. We know now there is no mistake, and we must reconcile ourselves to our loss. Wow, this is a powerful letter coming from the mother to Johnny. I am so thankful you came through, and my prayers go with you all the way. Here we go. I'm trying to pick up some things here. Do you know Robert Clifton? Do you know Robert Clifton?
Yeah, yeah.
He was the medic in the 291st. Oh, Robert Clifton, infantry, and was slightly wounded on January 15th, the same day as Don. Wow.
Yeah.
His home is in Troy. Troy, New York is close
Yeah.
to Watervliet. Yeah. Wow. The same day as Don. His home is in Troy, New York, just across the river from here. And the item was in the local paper, so I phoned his mother. Wow, this is getting better all the time. I'm reading a little clearer here. He was only a few yards from Don from Don, he said, and he knew about his death had come instantly. So Don's head was blown off, so the death came instantly. I was so afraid that you and Don might have gone together. She was afraid that you and Don might have been killed together, but you got just the shrapnel on your leg, which was bad enough, and they couldn't remove it all. She thought you both got killed by the same dirty bomb. You survived, he didn't. All right, let me try to pick this up. This is interesting. I was so afraid that you and Don might have gone together, they died together. Robert is with the 9th Army now. I understand. I wonder how you are. I wonder how you are, or aren't you allowed to talk? Because...
Censored.
What?
Censored.
Yeah, all your letters were censored.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We have had 40 or more letters returned, and one of the boxes came back. So they had sent out 40 letters to Don when they thought he was alive, and they came back in one box.
It was nice to have that on the back.
Yeah, she's lucky you got them back. If you could only have them, if you could only have them, it must be so much letter, they are heartaches. If you could only have read them, so much of the letters, they are heartaches. They come back, and it comes back, it sums such a shame he couldn't have received a few of them. So he didn't receive any of the letters.
Yeah.
By the time they would have reached him, the 40 letters, he was dead.
Yeah.
Probably made him sad.
Because it doesn't,
Hook
when you're on the
up.
front line, you don't get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He have received a few. He was so hungry, and there were at least some type of food that never reached him.
So you guys were hungry there, is that what that's saying, Dave?
Yeah. I
What's
imagine
that?
she
What's
put some
that?
snacks in there for him.
Huh?
I imagine the mother put some snacks in there for him.
Yeah.
Okay, let me keep reading. It's hard to see this. I received letters and pictures from Catherine Willis of Owensboro. Who's Catherine Willis?
That's probably his girlfriend.
Huh?
Probably his girlfriend.
Of Owensboro. That's Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
She was married to Charles. Who's Charles?
The medic?
Okay.
That's another buddy.
Okay, I'm trying to pick up here. I hope that the Lord, brings you home safely. I may have the pleasure of knowing you. You seem very close to us now. See, this gives me an idea. This is what we're trying to read. It's very difficult. Pleasure of knowing you now. Okay, here we go. You may have heard Don speak about Darrell King, a close friend during Lee's school. His father died on April 19th, the day following his mother received the telegram saying he was missing in Nuremberg. So his father had a heart attack when he heard that his son was missing.
Yeah.
So much damage and misery brought by this fucking war.
17 minutes.
Okay, let me try to decipher this. April 5th. Since then, the second one came saying he was killed. So his father had a heart attack when he found out, non-related to Don Lape, that his son was missing in Nuremberg.
Yeah.
And then after the father died, shortly after that, the letter came in that the son died too.
Yeah, he got
He
killed.
wasn't just missing.
Yeah, he got killed there.
Yeah. Okay. Since then, the second letter came saying he was killed. I feel so sorry for her. I have all this sorrow to bear alone. And older boy is in, their older boy, okay, is in the Navy. We shall miss Darren so much, and he was here so much with Don. So that was Don's best friend at home.
Yeah.
And so when let me just play this out. So when Don's best friend at home, before they knew anything about the service, they played together, right across the water together. And then his mother and father noticed that Don Lape's friend from back home was missing in Nuremberg, and then the father had a heart attack. He couldn't take the stress or the misery or the pain, and then they received a note a couple weeks later that he was also killed.
Yeah.
So both best friends were killed.
Yeah.
Donald Lape and this fellow named Darren.
Yeah.
Darren is so much, for he have so much with Don. The boys both got tough break. They got more than a tough break to put in the frontline infantry. Well, here we go.
Their age, combat age, 33s.
Yeah, let me read that again. The boys got a tough break to both be put in frontline infantry. You're in frontline infantry. And
We're 33s. That's what they wanted.
yeah, 33 is the code.
Yeah.
Teenagers frontline, and it's hard for people to understand this. but a teenager is fights much better than a 25 or 30-year-old would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so here's what took place. You got drafted because you wanted to spend more time with your mother.
Yeah.
That's why the book is titled Their Mother's Sons. So you didn't enlist like your brother did. Your brother enlisted and he never seen frontline.
No.
He was teaching young cadets how to drive a Jeep.
Jeeps, yeah.
And what was his experience?
Oh, I hit a fire hydrant.
Hit a fire hydrant, so
Yeah.
stay in New York and teach young cadets to drive
Yeah,
Jeeps.
yeah.
But you got drafted, so as a result, you were put on frontline infantry.
Yeah.
Just like Donald Lape and his best friend, you got the frontline infantry, which is very, very difficult. And sometimes it's like the faces I seen of the young boys on the first and second wave coming off on D-Day. They
Yeah.
didn't know any better. These were just kids. They
Yeah.
were all
Well,
slaughtered.
33s.
Yeah, 33 to code for a
Yeah.
teenager. Okay, let me try to pick it up here. It's tough to read. The writing is scribbled in many ways. We believe you were in Durenberg or near it at St. Vith when this happened. You're in St. Vith, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where my son is buried?
Probably cemetery, Army Cemetery.
I had Lape receive this information from the chaplain, but have not heard anything yet. Well, the reason why they haven't heard anything yet, because they're burying hundreds of thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the manpower. Yes, we must be comforted that death came quickly to Don. Let me read that again. Yes, we must be comforted that death came quickly to Don. His head was immediately blown off next to Mr. Jeckovich
12.
with a dirty bomb, and Mr. Jeckovich still has the remnants of Donald's bomb in his leg. Well, yeah. Yes, we must be comforted that death came quickly to Don. We believe it was caused by the concussion from his being in a sitting position rather than a direct hit.
Yeah,
No, tell us more.
Yeah.
You were there.
yeah.
How was it? You stuck his head up.
Stuck his head up, yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's all right to let them bleed with
He,
it.
I would be sitting in a position, he'd be laid flat on his stomach.
Yeah. Must have been the death came quickly to Don. We believe it was caused by a concussion from his being in a sitting position rather than by a
If
direct...
he was getting shot at, he wouldn't be in a sitting position.
Yeah. I hope I am not being a lot of bother. Wow, what very kind people. I hope they lost their friend and they lost their friend's best friend, and she's saying, I hope I'm not being a bother writing you my letters and questions. No, you're not a bother. You lost your son and you lost your son's best friend. But the information you sent us is priceless. So the information she's saying you sent her is priceless.
Yeah, yeah.
We are indeed fortunate in hearing from you, Johnny, who was with him when he died. Wow. Wow. We plan to get a box off to you within a few days. Did you ever get that box?
Why?
Yeah, she said she plans on getting a box off to you, probably like,
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
wow.
What was in it?
What was in it, you remember?
Oh, some fruit and candy and stuff like that.
Wow. Her son died and her son's best friend died and she's apologizing for asking too many questions.
Oh, no.
Wow. And now she's got
A little misery was for people who
oh my
that
God,
time,
and
yeah,
one father had a heart attack.
yeah,
And now they're getting a box off
yeah,
to Mr. Jeckovich. They lost everything.
And they're sending him a gift.
and they're sending him a gift.
Yeah.
And you wonder why we say that's the greatest generation. Huh?
Look at all the misery going on in those people.
Yeah.
All those
never
mothers,
asked for
all those
their
mothers
family.
and fathers there.
So,
And then Don didn't get any of the letters that were sent. She sent.
yeah, but let me continue.
Don didn't get any of the letters.
Don
she
didn't
sent.
get it, or his package, because he got killed. I hope you get it before too many weeks go by, because the service was slow.
Yeah.
But they lost their son, they lost their son's best friend, and she's apologizing for asking too many questions. What a wonderful lady. And now she's put a package together for Mr. Jeckovich. Wow.
Yeah.
What a wonderful lady.
All that misery going on there.
Misery in every friggin' corner.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try to read this. I'll keep going. I don't want to miss something.
9 minutes.
What?
9 minutes.
We hope we get a box out to you within a few days, and I hope you get it before too many weeks go by. Yeah, you must understand, in the middle of a battlefield, you don't get deliveries. It takes a long time.
They're good. They were
But it
good
takes a
though.
long time, though,
The
right?
Army Post Office was good, yeah. They got as fast as they could, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's another kind soul from her. Let us know if there's anything you especially like and have and want. Wow, what a kind person. Mr. Lape, that's the Donald's father,
Yeah.
and I send you our deepest appreciation for all your kindness. Very sincerely, Mabel Lape.
Yeah.
Wow. I missed some things in this letter because it was hard to read, but the story was in the foxhole, Donald Lape had his head blown out with a dirty bomb. He only had his glasses hanging from his ears. Mr. Jeckovich removed the glasses, closed Donald Lape's eyelids, and took one dog tag and wrote a beautiful letter. We don't have that letter though. Beautiful letter to Donald Lape's mother and father. The letter I just wrote you was a letter from Donald Lape's mother and father that they received Mr. Jeckovich's letter. And it was a beautiful letter. She's saying, I hope I'm not bothering you with all these questions, and I'm going to put a package together for you, and I hope you get it within a few weeks.
And when the misery going on,
Yeah.
oh boy, yeah.
She just lost her son and her son's best friend. And then her son's best friend, father, had a heart attack when he got the news of the son dying. And she's sending out these glowing letters after all this misery and death that came upon their house and home. Now you wonder why we consider this the greatest generation of all? This is it. This is an example right here. This is an example right here.
Yeah. A lot of misery going on. A lot
Yeah.
of misery, yeah.
In every corner. In every corner. That's why we have over 600 podcasts here. As Mr. Jeckovich tells people and instructs people on his podcast how get to give them a better life from his book. But we can't return it. Mr. Jeckovich and these guys were the part of the most selfless and courageous operation in the history of mankind. And it was like World War II. They saved what we're living. They saved America. They left their homes. These Mr. Jeckovich and Donald Lape, they left their homes to help out complete strangers with whom they had nothing in common. May we be worthy. May we be worthy of their legacy. Yeah. But it's amazing that, wow. Yeah. So she lost her son.
And at that time, you see a lot of flags in the windows that they had. So the Army put set flags in the windows for the mothers that kids got killed. And that.
Oh. Wow.
So going past houses, you would see flags in the windows and you knew that one of their children.
Killed.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Lape had an older son in the Navy.
Yeah. Well, he was all right though, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like he made it. What? How many minutes?
5.
So, that's an interesting story. I need you to title this one.
Yeah, I know.
World War II, Donald Lape, Mabel Lape, son lost in World War II,
Yeah,
memories.
yeah.
Letter,
Letter.
official letter.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's really something.
Maybe there's some family out in New York still that,
Well, I'll fast forward this a little bit. Forget about New York. Donald Lape's younger brother, which was too young to participate in World War II, he lived 1 block away from Mr. Jeckovich at Mr. Jeckovich's Florida home for 25 years. And sad and unfortunately, that they didn't know it. We found out it was too late when Donald Lape's younger brother passed away, then we found out they were just a block away.
Yeah.
That would have been beautiful, those two
Yeah.
knew it.
Yeah.
They could have got together and reminisced and talked about his brother.
yeah, maybe
Honored
there's
his
still
brother.
some Lape family here
Yeah.
in Florida.
I don't know.
A lot of that stuff went out right around, yeah.
Well, Mr. Jeckovich had many wars from World War II, but he's here. He's 100 years old. How many minutes?
What's that Western Union one?
I can't read it. He's 100 years old. What?
3.5.
It's some of those questions in that book.
Okay.
You're getting way behind on that.
All right, I got some questions. Some of them are off the wall, but if anyone has any questions to Mr. Jeckovich, text him at 407-366-0000. Ask Mr. Jeckovich any question. His book is 849 pages. Is your book for sale?
No.
Not for sale. It's not about money. Mr. Jeckovich has plenty of money. It's about teaching the younger generation how to live, or sharing some information, how to live an easier and simpler life. If you have any questions from A to Z.
I wonder where that old book is. He better used to read it every night. That
Oh.
849 pages.
I'll look for it.
We used to put it in the bottom drawer in the cabinet.
I'll look for it. We just have bits and pieces.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
well worn. It's well worn. So if you have any questions, text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000.
And how do you spell Lape? For this?
L-A-P, I'll add this. in there.
L-A-P.
Donald Lape, L-A-P-E. The
Watervliet, New York.
what's that?
Watervliet, New York.
Watervliet, New York, that's around Albany. So if anyone has any information that they want to share, please text us that. And the mother's name was Mabel Lape, L-A-P-E.
Yeah.
Watervliet, New York, that's around Albany. So if anyone has any information about the family, please forward it to us.
Oh, they're probably all gone.
But there might be second or third generations. What a beautiful letter. We'll get this letter copied again so we don't have it.
Minute and a half.
Huh?
Minute and a half.
Oh, okay, a minute and a half. So text Mr. Jeckovich any questions, no matter what the subject. Even if it's to say about marriage. How many years were you married?
69.
How many?
69.
69.
Or leave comments in the
Or leave
comments.
comments in the podcast. So Mr. Jeckovich would be glad to talk with you. He's glad to answer any of your questions. And he's a true World War II veteran. 16,400,000 young men and ladies entered World War II. And as combat veterans frontline go, we have less than 6,000 left, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. They're in their late 90s and early 100s, and so here's the time.
30 seconds.
If you have any questions, text Mr. Jeckovich at 407-366-0000. Do you remember the day you got drafted?
Yeah.
What happened that day?
I was skating on the lake, on the creek.
Yeah? And then your mother came and told you got some mail?
So yeah, she said, I think you gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time's up.
Yeah.
Time's up.
this tomorrow.
Okay, let me show you something. I
Water